Roll a persuasion real quick.
Awesome.
This is just going to decide what story she tells.
Whether it's true or not.
You want to know a story? Would you like to know how we met?
That sounds like an interesting story.
Ah, yes, it was a long time ago, a great number of years. Oh, he with an old dwarvish friend of his, and a halfling as well. They helped me out with a great important problem of mine. You see, my former husband had fallen a bit too far over the edge, and he unfortunately had to be dealt with. Your friend here, the Baron, and his allies were able to finally put my husband down.
Put him down.
She'll kind of
What do you
nod at
mean by
that.
that?
Do you really want to tell them, Amber? And she just kind of looks in that thinking, oh, I don't know. And she's just kind of there thinking for a moment, back and forth, kind of humming to herself, and the Baron just kind of shaking his head at this.
Do you mean that you guys killed him, or?
What happened is we killed a vampire.
Oh. Oh. Great. Vampires.
Fun.
Can I roll insight?
You may.
I'm
Who knows if it'll do something.
I don't before I roll, I don't know exactly how much Lily knows about vampires, but
Could roll a religion to check that first.
yeah, let's okay. So
You know very little about vampires.
I'm do I know that they live a long time?
All you know is that they like to be bats. You think they're bats, actually.
Okay. I'm gonna roll insight to see if Baron is a bat.
You do not believe the Baron is a bat. I mean, he doesn't even
Phew.
have wings.
That's good. That's good. Lily looks rather relieved at this.
Oh my god. Oh, this fits so well. I mean, he would have turned in the sunlight too, by the way, since he's been out in the sun.
How do you know that bats don't fly in the sun? You need a natural 20 on a cave bat check to know that. Come on.
This isn't bear lore.
God damn it, bears.
So the other thing is, Lily was promised that they would tell her about why the Baron's going to Redwall.
Are you going to have the rest of the group there or just Lily?
Whatever's gonna give her more information.
She'll say, yes, I should probably explain that properly. How about we assemble the whole group?
Okay. So, hand waving.
Getting
Works.
the entire group there to listen. Is anyone opposed? I don't think anyone's opposed.
Okay.
So with the entire group there, Amber will start to explain. Well, the thing of it is, with recent history has been as it is, we've been recovering a lot of information. It all started when we found there was a gnome by the name of Sindri. He located a rather strange artifact in the mountains and has since been gripped by some strange madness. But in his madness, he has been creating far greater works of machinery and clockwork than any gnome has before.
Shit, check the symbol.
Can I roll insight on that and get
You
another
may.
4?
Seven. You're probably not going to get much on that.
All right, cool.
Dang it.
She will. The other people could as well.
You're there
'cause-
too, Surina.
Yeah,
Oh,
everyone
wait.
is there.
Oh, I thought this was like a
No,
private
no,
conversation.
they got everyone together for this because she only wants to explain it once.
Oh, okay. I missed that bit. So, all right.
Yeah.
Serena's gonna roll insight. If I can find
The
the.
-1 did better than you.
But Surina did really well. Surina, Elana has a suspicion that the item that you found was probably this sigil, and Surina is almost assured of this.
Yeah, Serena's not gonna bring that up though.
Yeah.
No.
And so Amber will kind of continue. And we've been making all of these advancements. This very contraption we're riding in has been the source of that. And all this rapid development has gotten the clan leaders on edge. Oh, you know how the dwarves are, Klaus. The dwarves are so steeped in their ways, they don't even want to change anything. They're hesitant to listen even when I tell them otherwise.
Sorry to interrupt. I gotta step out for a minute. I will be back maybe in a few.
Alright. You know how it is, Klaus. It's so hard to convince these old dwarves to do anything new. The other counselors, though, have been a bit better. Oh, we have... And she's going to stop by to explain. And, oh, yes, I haven't even explained the council themselves. There are a number of council members for
I'm back.
the region of Redwall. Most of them are dwarves, though we do have a representative from every main race here. There is myself, of course, Byrne, Morgren, Cathra, Derek, and representing the Dragonborn, we have Heskin. Representing humans, we have Zora, and representing gnomes, we have Gimbal. Now, as I've said, the dwarves are rather steeped in their ways and rather paranoid and anxious at all this activities. When there had been a report from all the way in the western fringes that you were alive, dear Klaus, and that you were commanding this town of yours, which had been swelling greatly in size, they had... Well, Morgren he's in charge of the bookkeeping, and he determined that you should be dead. So, afraid of some political instability, someone trying to imitate you, impersonate you, take over your lands, and in their paranoia as a threat to the rest of the kingdom. Don't know how they see it as that far. Though it's hard to blame them. They're trying to exercise the command in some way or another. I've done what I could to try to make things smooth for the transition.
Okay, so can Surina roll insight on that guy, on the guy who's doing bookkeeping? Because keeping track of nobles dying doesn't seem something that a normal bookkeeper would do.
Yeah, she may.
I mean, obituaries and stuff.
Yeah, she doesn't actually find much anything about that. Like, it might seem a little odd, but she does know that the dwarves they're kind of like to keep track of every little thing, and it's known that you do not short charge a dwarf by a copper, because they will take offense to that.
So maybe they're just so anal that they have all of that. Okay.
Yeah, so it is a possibility. And Ember will continue. The real question, though, is you still have not explained to me what happened in that time clause. I knew you back then. You are the same person. But what exactly happened? You don't seem to have aged as much as you should have for that time. And he kind of
Good diet.
He kind of just looks to the side and sighs. Do you want to know what really happened? It was actually here in the mountains themselves. Oh, north of the mountains, actually. There was an entrance to an old abandoned place. I believe it was called the Inverted Temple of Elements. Time in there was very strange. We spent probably no more than 3 days in there. But when we walked out, 30 years had passed. My father was dead, my home in ruins, everyone I knew, most of the people I knew, either gone, dead, changed, or lost in the war. And seeing as everything had gone to crap, I decided to return to my ancestral home and try to bring it back to some form of glory, though the invasion put a damper on that.
Well, I'm pretty sure that Inverted Temple of Elements is going to be where one of those things is. Either that or where
Can I
that
see the
gnome.
map right quick?
You want to go to the map?
Yeah,
real quick?
could you show us on the map where he's referring to?
Yeah, he'll actually point that out on the map itself. So you're going to show him a map so he can point out and ask him that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. The temple itself was actually located up here in Icewall.
Okay, so nowhere near there.
Could you ping it again?
Right, yeah.
Move up so that,
Somewhere.
All right, I can see it. I was expecting it to have been like down here.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I initially said Redwall, then I moved it higher, so it's in the Icewall Mountains.
Okay.
And I can't actually see my pings on here, so I'll ping it on this so people can see it. Yeah. All right. So let me move you all back
Yeah,
to
right.
Redwall.
So around the Pale Tower.
Not even. It's a good distance from the Pale Tower, actually.
What exactly was that ice wall
Forward,
again?
though.
That is
Temple of Inverted Elements.
Yeah, the Temple of Inverted Elements. The Baron was explaining his past, and his excuse for how things seem to have changed so quickly is at one point he and his allies had gone into adventure in a place known as the Inverted Temple of Elements. They spent 3 days in there, and upon leaving, they discovered that 30 years had passed.
Would Alana know anything of the inverted Temple of Elements, considering elements?
Roll an Arcana check with advantage. Anyone else can roll it, but Surina.
Oh, thank God for the advantage.
Surina would be religion, right?
Surina could roll either or.
I'll go with well, religion is what she has proficiency in, so.
Can we take that roll for nature and get a +3 to it?
No.
Yay!
All right. So,
I still rolled like the second worst.
the temple itself is. It's known as kind of a bastion for the various elements, and you've all probably heard, like most of you have, at least the magically inclined of you, have heard of various temples dedicated to the elements. Like a fire temple being in the middle of a volcano, a water temple being sunken underwater. The inverted temple of elements, and this is stuff that you've kind of heard secondhand, it's kind of referenced only briefly in whatever books you may have read. But it's strange for two main reasons. First of all, it has 4 separate wings. Each wing is dedicated to a different element. The second thing that is odd is that all of the elements are backwards. Fire freezes you. Water is scalding hot. Air is just so invisible walls everywhere as you try to go forward, where what should be clear is blocking you off. In stone, you just sink right through as though it's not even there.
Well, that's an interesting place to go exploring.
I have no intentions of going there, of course. It's outside of my path right now.
I'd rather not age 10 years per day.
Actually, I think you just age for a day. Everything around you ages 10 years.
Yeah.
And who says that's always how it is?
I mean, it's a temple where all things are inverted, so I'm surprised that he didn't just go backwards in time. So,
Yeah, he'll kind of continue. We don't properly understand exactly what the magic that happened there is, though. And he kind of looks at Amber, kind of not willing to go too far into it before turning back to the group. There was one very interesting thing in that temple that I should probably mention to you all, since you have been helping me out so much with it. That temple is where I found Chase.
What? We need to go there.
I don't care to go there. Wait, Chase is there? We need to go there.
why?
He kind of widens his eyes. It's like, that changed your tone so quickly.
It's a personal matter. We need to go there as soon as possible, though.
Serena's going to look at Falana and say, you could just ask her, more than likely.
No, it's going to require a personal investigation.
Let's continue on the path that we are and maybe discuss this later. How about that?
Amber kind of nods, like, yes, it'd be best to appease the rest of the Dwarven Council. Let me try to help you out with all of that as well. Most of the council members will probably not listen to me too well when I try to convince them otherwise. So in order to try to get through this, you're going to have to speak to them, speak to who you can. I would suggest speaking to perhaps Siskan, the Dragonborn, and the human and gnomish counselor. Both of them are new, so they are not quite steeped in their ways. It'd probably be easier to turn them than any other manner.
Does Serena know the clan name of the Dragonborn representative?
I I'm going to say, I don't actually have a clan name prepared for him, but I'm going to say she recognizes him, and he is actually the leader of one of the most renowned clans in the region, and he is a Silver Dragonborn.
Okay, then.
Oh, great. He's a chaotic creature. This should be
That's
great.
cool.
He's a chaotic creature doing a lawful thing. Should be
Can-
very entertaining.
Can you explain real quick exactly what we have to convince them of? Because I probably missed that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Get them
The
to
Baron-
back. Yeah, to get them to back down, we would have to convince them properly that this is indeed the Baron and that he is, well, I've looked at the charges. The charges aren't so much of him. Let me start over. You have to convince them of two things. First of all, you have to convince them that this is indeed the Baron, in the same person who is bloodline to that land. That should not be difficult. There are rituals that can determine the bloodline and blood right. The more difficult manner is going to be, now that he's here, I know that the Dwarven Counselor, Morgan, is intending to invoke an old rule asking if he is fit to rule more than his title demands. We're going to have to prove to them some way or another that he is worthy of it.
Why don't we expand his title? I believe he's earned it.
There are rules that you have to follow. If it was that simple, then we would do it.
And
It's
these
just a
rules,
matter-
could we not follow them and make it so?
I'm pretty sure that trying to follow the rules would take more time than this trial would allow, and it seems like it would be too easy. They probably wouldn't allow it because it would be too easy to avoid the trial entirely.
If you want to really do this, what you have to do is anyone who's trying to lay claim to it prove that they're unworthy of holding it. Simple enough.
But nobody's trying to lay claim to it.
As you're all having this discussion back and forth, the Baron just says one word. Argarak. Surina, you recognize the word vaguely. You've heard it once when you were a child. It is a very old dwarvish ritual. Specifically, it is a trial. Not in the trial of like a court trial, but as a, like, say more of like trial of courage, trial of something
Trial
to that
by
effect.
combat.
Yeah, something more to that effect.
Trial of 30 sessions of games.
Oh, well, we're doing that, and it's not too much of a bad thing. Anyways, can Serena roll history to try and remember more?
Yeah, she may.
Let's hope this works.
Oh my god, yeah, she rolled good.
Yeah.
Nicely
She has
done.
been all day.
Nicely done. And what Serena remembers vaguely is that it is kind of a trial by combat. It is actually more related to the Bard's College. The Bard's College is probably one of the oldest establishments in the Redwall Mountains. They've been around since the beginning, even while the various clans were feuding together. The Bardic College was there to begin with. And the challenge itself is related to them in a way of proving your mettle through them.
So
And
does
one thing
she-
that she would
yeah.
know is versus a trial before the council, this would probably be a lot faster and they would not be able to dispute it.
Do they allow people to aid in the trial?
That is something you might have to take care of on the site itself.
Yeah, Serena doesn't know anything more specific than it's just a test of might.
And as when the Baron said it, Amber, you can see her nodding slowly at the idea. Yes, I do
Lily's
believe-
gonna. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
I thought you
yes,
were stopped.
do believe that might be the best solution to take care of this quickly.
Lily's gonna say we've seen the Baron fight against the Thunderbird, Firebird, Mustang, whatever it was, and he proved himself fairly well, as far as I'm concerned.
I thought it was a Ferrari.
Porsche.
Yes, well, he'll still have to prove them to the council itself, and by going through this test, if he comes out with the full support and permission of the Bardic College, then that should silence any questionings that they may have left.
I assume we'll have to go to the council first before, and then say we'll be taking the trial.
Yes, we'll have to stand before the You'll have to stand before the council personally, and you'll have to directly invoke the old rite.
Will the problem of the newer counselors trying to wave it away cause a problem, or does precedence mean that that's not going to be an issue so long as we can complete it?
It might be best to have the younger counselors on your side, but if you're able to, with the right of the trial itself, you should be able to overcome whatever the council may have.
And how would we invoke this right? Should we allow the council to at least deliberate first, or should we invoke it from the start?
You should likely want to invoke it fairly early on, though it'd be best to let them get their word in first.
Is there some sort of signal you could give us?
And the Baron kind of looks over. I'll know when to invoke it.
All right, that seems fair enough to me.
All right.
Liz just going to say, "My
Yeah.
sword is at your disposal. If they allow you to have us aid you."
Yep, and a kind of nod. And unless there's anything else you wish to talk about, I think the rest of the trip will happen on in relative commonness.
Yep.
I'm sorry. It was the only thing that came to mind when you
And
said
when
my
you said it, like-
very feet.
No, like when you say that, my thought goes to the one in the guys who mainly think streams. You have my axe and my metal and my alternate. I'll have to link that in the chat afterwards.
And this other guy.
Yeah.
It's going to be like, "Baron, we promise we will be at your side all this time. Mara will fight for us."
Yeah, about that.
Marosai.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's out of character.
All right. So nothing more to really say to her on the trip.
There is something I do want to do before the council convenes, if you don't mind. I want to do some research
Yeah.
regarding the inverted temple of elements. That's actually high priority now. Wow.
Are we in Redwall now?
Yeah, I'm gonna say the rest of the day would have gone. The rest of the trip would have happened in relative calm, and you would have ended up in Redwall itself at the station, which is about where you are right now. Azul also would have taken normal form at some point, so she would have had the bagpipes.
Okay. So,
Azul eventually also needs to get her key back because apparently she's out.
Needs to what now?
Her key.
Apparently, her
She's
key
out.
bar is empty.
Oh yeah.
Does it
Yes,
matter? We're
let
not
me-
going to combat.
She gave the Baron a really nice massage, guys.
Yeah.
put all of the key right into that massage there. That would be great.
Oh god. No, not the puns. Don't you dare start. I will hurt you.
Well, when we arrive in Redwall, Lily's... Can't believe I'm saying this. Lily's going to try to get more information about the Thunderbird stuff that they have, and see
It's
if
a
she
well-made car.
can see if she can figure out if it would be worth it to sell or use these in crafting.
Oh, it'll be useful in crafting, but
For where
Well,
you would
maybe
want to
the
go to find that, it'd be best off to go down here by the trade gate.
Okay, Lily gonna do that. Anyone want to come with her?
I guess Elana will to keep her from at least trying to spend things like the whetstone.
Lily's not going to use stuff.
We gave the whetstone to Serena anyway.
It's in the bag of holding.
That's what it shows.
Serena, the only one who could really use it.
Anyways, so I guess we're gonna head down and try to figure out what's going on with that.
Yep. So, Redwall itself is a bustling town, and there are a lot of people in here. A lot of elves, half-elves, or not elves, not elves. A lot of humans, half-elves. Gnomes, there's some halflings, dwarves, obviously. There's like more dwarves than everything else combined. And as you walk down there, you're able to find a number of shops. This is very obviously a bustling trade center here. On the surface, there's mostly the more human area, the more human shops, the like non-dwarf run shops. Though it looks like you could run underground and probably find other shops as well.
With my passive perception as I'm walking by, is there anything that catches my eye?
There
Have
are
cool stuff to buy?
There's they're mostly selling trinkets and stuff. Magical items are, you'd actually have to look harder to find any place that might sell magical items.
Well, I was going to talk to Elana and say, should we look around before we find information on this, or wait till after?
Looking around's always the better option.
All right, so let's look around.
All right, and make an investigation to look around. I'll say a zoo joined you.
All right, can we like do one person with advantage because I have a +1.
One person
I
with
have a
advantage.
-1.
Oh,
What
that's
does a zoo have? Probably higher. What did I say? Perception?
investigation. If it's perception, I get +4.
Oh, investigation? I
Yeah.
have a +5. Sorry,
Then,
I
yeah,
heard
you
perception.
do investigation then.
Yeah, Liz is gonna help as much as she can. Yeah, and
She didn't help too much. You weren't
Oh,
able to
roll
actually
20.
You weren't able to actually find any particular magic shops in your search around. Several like trinket shops and everything else, but nothing particularly magic.
all right, we can look again on the way back.
And you know ahead of time that the council meeting itself won't happen until the next day, early the next day, and it's going to take place at the highest rise in the main building, the Great Forge Hall, which isn't actually a forge; it's just tradition.
Cool.
All right. I am hunting down a library.
So we're going to try to get information on that. So what do we go to a trade guild or
What are you trying to get information on? All the stuff. Yeah,
the Thunderbird stuff?
Trade guild or magicians.
Let's start with the trade guild.
All right, so you're probably going to be able to find the trade guild pretty easily. It's going to be the fanciest, the most important building down here, pretty obviously. And wandering in, you see that as a bustle of activity, and it's not really that surprising considering that they have new transportation for all these supplies, and it's in a pretty prosperous town.
Okay. So Lily's gonna try to find someone who can help them, someone of at least some knowledge on the elements and potentially of some importance.
I'm going to say, with a little bit of looking and some asking of some questions, you're able to be directed to a dwarf. And from the looks of things, he appears almost to be a dwarf wizard. And that would make sense that he's probably the one in charge of any magical items that might come in or out of the area.
Okay. Alana, do you want to say anything first?
You were the one who wanted to do this.
Cool. So Lily's going to take out just one, each of the feathers and the talons, and show it to him and say, do you have any idea what I can do with these? And she's going to say, my specialty is in weapons and armor.
And he'll look them over. I don't think there's anything you might be able to do with the feathers, at least. The talon you might be able to fashion into some sort of a dagger, definitely. Wouldn't even
Yeah.
have to do much work to turn it into a dagger.
Why are you saying there's nothing I can do with these feathers?
Well, you said your specialty was with armors and weapons, right?
That's
These
my
things
specialty,
would be
though.
better off with trinkets or potions then. Such.
Ooh, potions?
It just so happens my friend here has made some amazingly terribly tasting potions.
And I'll kind of look at the group. Unfortunately, I can't really tell you that much for free. We have a business to run. I hope you understand.
How much do you want?
50
probably-
gold for a consultation fee.
It'd probably end up being a potion of lightning resistance, seeing as the animal it came from.
Are you gonna pay the 50 gold?
Trinket sounds like a
I'm gonna let Alto decide on that.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Alright, thank you very much. Well then, for my first
I-
glance, it looks like the potions that might be able to generate from these feathers. Do you see the charge that is still on them? And he kind of touches it, and like a little spark of electricity goes to his finger. That stings. But I believe with this, you might be able to faction not so much a potion, but more a bomb.
Oh.
Thunder bombs.
And if we happen to have more,
If you happen to have more, I might be interested in getting a few for myself.
Lily's going to look at Elana and say, "Well, how much would you offer to pay for them?" And she's talking to the wizard.
I'd be willing to pay, 100 apiece.
And how many would we need to fashion? You mentioned a bomb.
Oh, if you want me to fashion them, that would cost you much more.
How much would it cost for us to fashion it, or how many would we need to do it ourselves?
Oh, if you wish to pay me to fashion it, it would cost
No.
you...
For us to do it ourselves, how many of these feathers would we need?
That would cost you another consultation fee.
Well, it's too bad you won't see these feathers again. And she's gonna just slowly put them into the bag of holding, unless you want to tell us more information.
Or I could simply speak to the military, who did a fine job of harvesting whatever attacked a ship up north. I do believe I'll be fine without your supplies.
Oh well.
All right. I'm not really interested in making electric bombs anyway.
I don't know. Explosives do have their advantage, especially electric. If we encounter something that's waterborne, such as like a kraken.
Not a
Krakens are
kraken.
immune. Krakens are immune to electricity.
What?
Yeah, krakens are electricity. They are immune to it, and they spit electricity out.
Okay, so if we encounter
They're lightning
Moby Jack,
spits.